I want to welcome two special ladies, Miss Daisy Doucette, Miss Karen Sims. We're going to cover their stories on overcoming breast cancer and their perspective on what it takes to overcome challenges in their lives.
To be truthful, I was angry about it. Even now, when I speak about it, I know my blood pressure goes up. I did not opt for the standard care. I only did the surgery. I did not do the radiation or the pills that they had offered that I would need to stay on for 5 years. I opted not to do any of that. To be truthful, I wouldn't do anything. And I'm just that type of person. I believe we all have a time to go.
When they say you have that C word, oh, the C word, she was all upset. You have cancer, she was all upset. I'm like, girl, please, you give it to God and that's it. If you can't control whatever it is, give it to him. Whatever your destiny is, you'll know. I haven't fretted over it. Once I said that, I was done.
Staying positive is a big deal. Definitely is a consistent correlation between every guest I've ever had.
There is some miscommunication with the doctor and the actual pathologist. And like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I don't think I would do anything. And in my mind, at a certain age, I don't really think physicians really care. I kind of felt like I was in no type of personal care. You're just a number.
We are not the only people that have experienced some interesting care in Las Vegas, Nevada. And one of the hardest things is to just simply find a good primary care doctor. What I've come to find or assume is that Vegas has no real interest in keeping their people healthy.
And my mom would say, stray bullets don't have a name. My oldest grandson, we had been talking to him. He's a good kid. And his friend, 14-year-old, shot him in the neck and he died. This kid was 14 years old. What was he doing with a gun? Where are your parents? How do you not know your kid has a gun? That was a part of a tragedy that we really had to deal with. And I think I did well because I couldn't worry about it. He's gone. Stray bullets don't have no name.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Beast vs. Zombie. I want to welcome two special ladies on the episode today, Miss Daisy Doucette, Miss Karen Sims. Thank you so much for tuning in and thank you for coming. We're going to cover their stories on overcoming breast cancer and their perspective on what it takes to overcome challenges in their lives. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate you. I'm going to start out with this question for you guys. What is the best advice that you would give to somebody on overcoming any kind of challenge in their life?
Health-wise, especially any kind of disease that you have, the earlier you find it, the better off you'll be. I actually found mine myself in the shower. I had the little plaque that they give you hanging there. And so I would just check it, and I felt a little lump up under my arm. And a lot of people don't understand. It's not like in your breast. It's like it was under my arm, and some people have it but because we have tissue, it can, I asked the doctor, well, I feel all these lumps. He said, that's not what you're looking for. So it's just what you're looking for. Once you know what it is, then it's a lot easier if you just do it early.
Right.
Early detection is the best way. I'm 21 years survivor, and I've never had any complications, 0. So
Okay.
that's my advice.
That's your advice. How about you, Miss Karen?
Keeping a positive attitude. I think that's very important. And if you can find some other people that have breast cancer as well to support you to go through what you're going through, I think that helps as well.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's extremely important to always stay positive. And it's hard, right? Like you got cancer, right? It's hard, I would imagine, for a lot of people to be able to look at that. I always tell people, like, life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you, right? And it's up to you to really understand, not necessarily why this is happening for me, right? But understand like it's happening for you for a reason, for a purpose, right? And it's happening to get you, this is your journey, and we all have a different experience, right? Whatever that looks like. And this is part of the journey, and you should be able to feel good about that. Yeah. Right? I know, again, like cancer is kind of a crazy thing. And if you're able to get cancer and be able to somewhat feel good about that, like that, I would say that's a win, right? And that's being able to stay positive in, negative times or what people would say is negative. Really, what it is just like you wouldn't have expected to get cancer, right? Like I got cancer when I was 19. I would have never expected that. You don't expect it till you get it, right? Yes. And so it's, staying positive is a big deal, and definitely is a consistent correlation between every guest that I've ever had.
I had friends that actually, one friend that she was all upset. You have cancer. She was all upset. I'm like, girl, please, you give it to God, and that's it. That's what I did. I was like, oh, hey, Lord, this is your problem, not mine. And I'm going to do my half. You just do yours. And I've been here 21 years. 21 years cancer-free. So I just say, if you can't control whatever it is, give it to him. Whatever your destiny is, you'll know. Because, I haven't fretted over it. Once I said that, I was done.
Yes.
And that's how it is. And that having, like she said, a positive attitude. And that's what I said from day one. When they say you have that C word, the C word. And now, medicine, just think 21 years ago I did it, and I've never had any complications. Medicine is way more advanced now. So just early detection is a smart thing to do.
And you said you had like a plaque that you use in your shower. Can you explain what that is for anybody that doesn't understand that?
I don't know where I got it from, but the doctor give it to you, I think, when you go to the little white thing that hangs in your shower, and it reminds you to do the test. Hold your hand up over your head. And, I've had it in the shower more than once, but I think they might have gave it to me even in the doctor's office. The Cancer Society gives you things. I remember having it in my shower for a long time before I moved here, because it was all in Los Angeles. So, that plaque, that it's just a little plastic thing, and it tells you how to do the exam up under your arm.
Okay.
And it works. That's how I found it. And I called my job, and I was like, hey, I'm not coming to work today. I felt a lump. I'm going to the doctor. I had Kaiser, and Kaiser let you walk in at that time. Mm-hmm. And I did it the same day. And the next day, they told me, just call in about 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll tell you if it's negative or positive. And what they do is they do a needle biopsy where they put the needle in your breast when I guess after they looked at my mammogram, they located it and stuck a needle in, took it out. And I said to the doctor, I said, can I see that? What it looks like? It looked like water. It was clear. I thought it would be cloudy or something, but it wasn't. And I was like, okay. And he said, call at 9 o'clock the next morning. I called at 9 o'clock, and they said, it's positive. And I was like, okay, what do we do now? And they was like, okay, we'll set your appointment to come in. And they made sure that the location, the lady said, you ever had a tattoo? I said, no, I don't think so. She said, you're going to have one. And they took like a monitor and put it on my breast, located it, and then she took the ink and stuck it there. So she said, when you do radiation, course I told him I was going to do both. That little dot is where every day, you go in there for I get up in the morning and going for radiation, and it's like taking me an hour to get dressed, then 35, 40 minutes to go to Kaiser, and then I'd get in there and the girl would put that little thing on me and say, "Bzz," and that was it. I said, you made me do all this work for me to come in here for 2 minutes? And she said, that's it. And I did it for 8 weeks.
Yes.
5 days a week. So
I did some radiation. I got the tattoos.
you did?
Because the tattoos, for anybody that's watching, they help the radiation doctors basically target and know where to put your radiation. So they just put a little dot. It's a little dot of a tattoo on your body.
Yes.
And so I'm actually covered in tattoos. My torso, I have tattoos all over my body. So it was honestly, there were a couple of times when it was kind of lost. So I had to point it out to make sure that they could see it.
Oh, okay.
I have all these tattoos.
Yeah,
so I had experienced some radiation but it was really high dose. Basically, I had Hodgkin's lymphoma. I had done a 6-month chemo treatment every 2 weeks, and it didn't work. I still had some cancer in my body, so they tried an extremely low dose of radiation in my chest, and it didn't work. There was also no side effects really from it because it was such a low dose. So
how long ago was this?
This was 2020, 2019, something like that.
Okay.
That I was doing this, and yeah, it didn't work. But I did experience some type of radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miss Karen, you brought up a big part of overcoming challenges is simply having support and being able to maybe have people there. For me, a lot of my support was, my family and friends. What did that look like for you, and how did that help you through your cancer journey?
Well, my cancer journey is a little bit different than most people. I was diagnosed with stage 0. And some doctors say that is cancer. Some doctors say that is not cancer. So I do not have family here. I do have a roommate, and I have her. That was pretty much my support. My family is primarily... they're spread out, but I have 2 adult children. One is in Los Angeles and one is in Indiana. I did not opt for the standard care. I only did the surgery. I did not do the radiation or the pills that they had offered that I would need to stay on for 5 years. I opted not to do any of that. Even now, when I speak about it, I know my blood pressure goes up because, to be truthful, I was angry about it. You said sometimes you don't expect it. I kind of was, because where I used to work, it was a lot of people who had breast cancer and different types of cancer. So it was kind of like, when is my turn? And I never did feel any lumps. It was during my annual physical, and they let me know that they saw something that looked abnormal. I have to say I felt rushed. I didn't feel like I really had any time. If I had to do it all over again and just say the stage 0 was detected in my opposite breast, to be truthful, I wouldn't do anything. And I'm just that type of person. I believe we all have a time to go. And like I said, I did not do that. And that was in May 3rd, James Brown's birthday, 2022, was when I was diagnosed. and I had the surgery on June the 1st. And there was some miscommunication with the doctor and the actual pathologist. And like I said, if I had to do it all over again, I don't think I would do anything.
That was here in Las Vegas?
Las Vegas.
Oh, yeah, that was.
So that's interesting. And you were taken care of in California,
Los
right? At
Angeles.
Kaiser?
Yes.
And so do you mind going into a little bit maybe what the surgery was and what kind of mistake or miscommunication there was there?
Well, when my primary care physician informed me that they saw something abnormal, she, of course, referred me to the cancer surgeon. And she's looking at the paperwork, and she's like, I'm not certain. I know it's stage 0. She says, but I'm not really certain from what I'm looking at. And I'm like, what do you mean I didn't say that out loud. What do you mean you're not certain? Anyway, she called the pathologist and let them know I'm not really certain, what I'm looking at here. And anyway, she comes back and says it is indeed cancer, and I'll need to do the surgery. And I'm like, surgery? And she says, yes. And I said, well, I thought you said it was stage 0. She says, yes, but we still have to remove it because, things could happen. Well, later, after I've done some research, there are a lot of women that have stage 0 that did not even do the surgery, and they're still here. But anyway, we did the surgery. I have a scar here, and they did the lumpectomy, which is they removed 2 lymph nodes to ensure that the cancer had not spread it. And luckily, they did not find any cancer in the lymph nodes. And I made sure that I compared pathology reports. And I had said to myself, if that pathology report comes back same or similar after the surgery, I'm not doing anything. Sure enough, it came back pretty much the same. So that's pretty much how it was with me. It was, like I said, 2022. In my mind, I'm thinking some of these doctors, they're trying to recoup from COVID, that they weren't making enough money. And in my mind, at a certain age, I don't really think physicians really care. I kind of felt like I was in, what is that when you go from here to here to here? No type of personal care. You're just a number doing 1, 2, 3. And then when they tell me, when I opted not to do the standard care, they're telling me, well, the percentage of this returning is like, just say 10%. Well, that's 90% that it won't return. Why are you focusing on? Because I don't think anything's just 100%. And I think at this stage and age in my life, I just roll a little bit differently than if I was younger. Maybe if I was younger, I might have gone through all of that. But at 65, at that time I was 62 years old. And like I said, it was a lot of people at my former job that are gone. A lot. 2 of my subordinate supervisors, they were diagnosed like within 6 months of one another. And I was due for a mammogram, and I said, oh, if I come back positive, we're going to have to check out something's going on in this building. And at that time, nothing was detected. One of those former employees is still with us, and the other one, she's gone, and they both had breast cancer.
Wow. So did you ever get a second opinion?
No, I did not. I did not.
And so I always encourage people to make sure that they get some type of second opinion. And just like you, I've heard stories, especially we are people of color, and in dealing with healthcare and the way we are treated or diagnosed. I have a similar story where I basically have what's called necrosis in my hip, and it's not getting enough oxygen, so the bone is kind of breaking down. Eventually, they told me I need a hip surgery. So you guys saw me walk. I'm walking normal. One of the doctors that I got a opinion from out here told me I should get a hip surgery right now. I'm 30 years old right now. Ain't no way I need a hip surgery right now. Absolutely not. But if I would have told him, and he tried to it was kind of like rushed, like you said. And, I could see how somebody could feel some type of pressure and think they need a hip surgery right now. Right? He's supposed to be a doctor, so doctors are supposed to be intelligent, right? I'm supposed to go to the doctor because I don't know what I'm talking about. He's supposed to know. So he gives me a recommendation that I should get a hip surgery right now, and we could do it today. And it was very, like I said, rushed. He didn't really go into detail on what was going on. Basically, I got an x-ray, and he saw the x-ray. He said, you have XYZ, which he was right. He was right because I got a second opinion. And so he did give me like a fair diagnosis. And he said, and you need a hip surgery. We can do it right now. And I said, okay, I'm not, that seems like a pretty invasive thing to solve a problem that's not really bothering me too much. This just kind of showed up on a scan. And he said, okay, well, you have 2 years and you can come back. And then he just left. And so it was like very impersonal, like you said. I don't trust him. I wasn't, even if I was going to get a hip surgery, I was going to let him operate on me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've experienced that. Even I've gotten 2 bone marrow transplants. I can't get a bone marrow transplant in Nevada. They don't have the capability to do it here. So I'm from Oregon originally anyway, so that's where I went initially when I got all my treatments. My mother works for Kaiser, and so I went back home, and that's where I was initially getting all my care. And both of my bone marrow transplants were in Oregon at a hospital called OHSU, but Vegas doesn't have the capability to do a bone marrow transplant. I was diagnosed. I was in remission, or I was healthy for 3 years, and then I had a recurrence. My cancer came back. And so I went to an oncologist out here, and they, the next step was to do basically a different kind of bone marrow transplant. I'd already done one before. And so they referred me out to California and Utah. There's no way to do it here. So, that's interesting. And that was only maybe 4 years ago. So this is like 2021-ish or something like that. You would think anywhere they would be able to, keep somebody healthy. And in Vegas, doesn't seem like that's the case. Right? Man.
The running joke, if you're really sick here, the best place to go is it's not McCarran anymore. What is it? The new airport? They renamed it. Harry Reid.
That's
the best place to go.
To the airport, get up out of here.
And get up out of here and go somewhere else. But, yeah.
Man, so now that you guys have overcome cancer, right?
Yes.
It's been just a handful of years for
3
you.
years.
It's been 20 plus years for you.
Right.
How do you guys feel? Like, how did it change your perception on how you think or maybe how you do things?
I'm always positive. So it could be, the thing could be falling out of the roof and I'd be like, oh, the glass is half full. I just try to be positive about anything that happened to me because the first thing I do is give it to God. That's it. That's my solution.
Yes.
And I give it to him. And I'm not going to worry about something that I can't do anything about. Worrying to me is like, I read this one time, rocking in a rocking chair. You're doing something, but you're not going anywhere. So why do I set myself up to worry about it? I think I probably worry more about my grandkids and all that kind of stuff. But me, my health, I just say, hey, Lord, when it's my time, I've had a good run. You know, I've done a lot of positive things, been a lot of places. For me, I think he's my solution. Maybe it's because I'm closer to him going, you know. I tell people, once you hit 50 years old, half your life is over. You might be lucky if you live another 50 years, but chances are getting to that 100 is a little bit. So I don't worry about it. I just say, hey, whatever happens. I'm good with it. I have 3 grown sons. And just in the last week and stuff, I said, look, when I go, be happy. Say, my mother did this, my mother, just like you roast me all the time, you know. And they say I was a good mother. So I'm like, okay, that's good enough for me. The only thing I ask them to do when I'm gone is that they stick together. Yes. To, you know, have that bond that I want them to have always. That's it.
Right. Man, I like what you said was like rocking in a rocking chair. You rocking, but you ain't going.
It's true.
That's a good way to look at it, right? I never heard it put that way.
I actually read that one time and never forgot it. Yeah. Because I think it started making me not worry so much because the doctor said that my breast cancer, they sent my blood to Utah. They said, you don't have cancer genes. Are you under any stress? It's okay, where you want me to start? My husband was sick with kidney failure. I had my surgery June 8th. Him and my 3 sons were sitting there watching me be pulled in. And July 7th, a month later, my husband went into the hospital. He had been fighting kidney failure for about 5 years. So he went in a month after me, and he died like within July the 7th he died August 22nd. I buried him August 28th, and October 1st, I started chemo. Because I told them I couldn't do chemo while he's in the hospital and I'm running back and forth no. And then I had a 15-year-old son, I had a dog, I worked at the stock market, I worked for 20 years in the stock market. I'm like, you know what? My job was even stressful. And doctor told me, and my mother had started living with me a year before. She had diabetes. She was having problems. So I was trying to take care of my mother, take care of my husband, take care of my kids. You know, it was just a lot. And so it gets where you have to say, okay, if he's telling me it's stress, I didn't go back to work. I told him I'm not coming back to that job. It was stressful. And he said, you got to get someone to take your baby, to take care of your mother. You can't get rid of your husband. My sister took my mother. And so that it kind of eliminated some stuff. And, you know, it was crazy. It was like a whirlwind of things happening. And I could not have the worry once they told me, stress is probably doing this for you. So I never went back. I haven't worked in 21 years. I did Uber. I do little stuff that's pleasant. I like driving. I tell her that all the time. I like driving. It's something weird that if you like it, you like it. So, you know, I just said, you know, I was going to let everything go. And from then on, I just, whatever happens, happens. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. And I'm going to always try to stay as positive as I can about whatever happens, including when God decides I'm leaving here. I'll be positive about it and say, hey, tell my kids, enjoy life to the fullest. Do whatever you want to do. I can't do a lot in this economy, but you still, just look at it like it's fun. Just make lemonade out of the lemons.
Yes.
That's what you do.
Man, they say stress is so harmful to your health, right? I don't know all the statistics or what that looks like, right? But I know stress kills people.
It kills people.
And gives you diseases.
Yes.
And right, it's awesome that you were able to have such a positive attitude and to be able to not worry, right, that's kind of a skill.
It takes time.
Ms. Karen, you mentioned that a handful of people in your recent workplace had gotten cancer. I know that it's never clear how you get any kind of your cancer, right? They don't never tell you. They tell you they can't tell you or they don't know, right?
Right.
And so it's interesting, like with you, Miss Daisy, there was no type of like genetics for it. It doesn't run in the family.
Well, I can't say that.
Okay.
My grandmother, my mother's mother, Daisy, she had breast cancer.
Okay.
And they just said my other grandparents, none of them had it. So I could be leaning more towards my dad's side.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have it. And my grandmother, Daisy, she had breast cancer. She died from breast cancer. She wouldn't let them touch it. No, that's been 20, 30 years ago. She wouldn't let them touch it.
Okay.
She said, if it's my time to go, I'm going.
Yeah.
And she was up in age, so she didn't care about it. And her mother lived to be 104.
Wow.
She didn't have breast cancer, but they said that in my blood work, they didn't see anything. But the same time I had breast cancer, my sister was 31. She got breast cancer, didn't tell anybody. And I was going through it. I was doing the chemo already. She didn't even come to me. She died.
Oh, wow.
But the doctor said I want young people to listen to this. The younger you are, they think that it spreads faster because of your hormone level. Right. When you're 20, 21 years old, you can run a marathon, you can do a whole lot of things. Whereas at 51, I'd slowed down, so mine wasn't spreading or anything. Where my sister, she was diagnosed at 31, she was dead at 33.
Wow. That's interesting. I never heard that before. I wonder if, like my case, right, like I was 19, so I wonder if my cancer was more aggressive because I was younger.
That's what the doctor told me. Her doctor in L.A. told me, it's nothing we can do about it. Hers is she waited too late. And whereas I was early, my sister, I think she looked at me and said, oh, she's 19 years older than me, so if she kicks it, I'll probably kick it.
Wow.
And she didn't take care of it. And then when it started being painful, then she started going, and it was like it was too late. The doctor actually talked to me, her doctor, and he said, if she would just did it when they first detected it, but she didn't. So I'm telling young people, if you have a history, make sure you check it all the time, or make sure you at least give yourself the breast exam. At least do it in the shower.
Right. And they say early detection is key for breast cancer.
I believe that. Because
for anything.
They told me I had it in one lymph node, and the doctor did like this. He said, this is your infected lymph node, but we're going to take 3. So we don't want it to come back. And if there's some trying to go in those other, we're just going to wrap it all up. And I haven't had a problem since. I did get a second opinion from Cedar-Sinai Hospital. The chief of oncologists. I paid a lot for that exam. But he said, Kaiser, it was the pathology report and everything. He said, they did the right thing. Don't worry about it. Just go along with them. People think Kaiser's not good and Kaiser this. He said, let me tell you something. They're scrutinized more than most places because doctors are watching what the other doctors are doing. And when he told me that, I said, okay. Then I got real relaxed about it. I said, let's do what we got to do. And I was,
Yeah.
I've been all right ever since.
Ever since I was a little kid, I've had Kaiser. And
How old were you when you had the first diagnosis?
I was 19.
19, okay.
I was 19, and I just went to an urgent care appointment. They don't have. That's another thing. They don't have cancer in Nevada. I mean, Kaiser in Nevada.
No, they don't.
So I can't even
don't.
use Kaiser out here.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anytime up until I was 26 on my parents' plan, I had to get all my care every time I went back home, right? So that was like usually for the holidays or random times throughout the year was when I would go and get any kind of my health taken care of. And so when I found out I had cancer, when I was officially diagnosed, like the doctors told me after doing a PET scan, I initially came back during Thanksgiving, during November, and got my initial appointment. He knew immediately, actually, without diagnosing me or doing any tests. He said, he asked me if I wanted his opinion, and I wanted his opinion, and he said, I think you have cancer. He knew without doing anything. He just felt my lymph node. I had a lymph node swollen out of my neck. He just felt my neck, and he knew immediately. Then they did some tests. I went back home. I was in college. I went back home, then came back out for Christmas, and we had done the test or the scans or whatever. Or I think they just did the biopsy and confirmed that it was some type of cancer. And then it was Christmas, so I went snowboarding and hung out with my family. There were some side effects looking back, but I was still very active, very healthy, and there was no way. I still didn't believe them until I saw a scan with whatever they were showing me, right? And it was crazy. I never, like I said, you never think you're going to get cancer until you get cancer. And so is very interesting. So, Ms. Karen, did you have any family or did they tell you that any of this was genetic in any kind of way?
It wasn't. I don't
Right.
have really a family history, although my great-grandmother was diagnosed like at 98,
Okay.
with it. But other than that, when they did the breast cancer gene test, mine came back negative.
Right. And I have no type of family history with cancer that I know of. My mother is actually adopted. And
Okay,
so
so
like I actually don't have any kind of understanding of what that really looks like. So maybe, I guess, but again, they still so actually not, because the type of cancer I have is not a genetic type of cancer.
Okay.
So that actually rules that out anyway. And so yeah, they don't tell you how you get it. It's not genetic. It's just completely pretty much random. Draw the stick, right? And so okay, was your workplace stressful?
Yeah. That's why so many of them with it.
So, okay, I could say I was maybe going through a stressful time in my life when I got cancer. 100%.
Okay.
100%. And I don't know if that's the reason why, right? But 100% I was in like kind of a stressful relationship at the time. And I don't know. I don't know. They don't tell you why, right? But it seems like a correlation across the board.
Yeah, because he said probably it's from stress. Because I was telling him all the stuff I was going. He said probably from stress. They don't know, but they do say stress is one of the things, and we do go through stressful things,
Yes. Even, like I said, we're people of color in America, right?
And we're the low man on the totem pole for everything.
Especially as women.
As women, yeah.
Yes.
And I when I first moved here, I had a doctor, attending physician, a woman, and she said, I've seen her maybe 2 or 3 times because Kaiser, they don't have a Kaiser here. And she said, I think you have thyroid problem. I said, I never had a thyroid problem. I don't think so. She says, well, I'm going to run the test anyway. I said, but I don't have thyroid problem. She said, okay, we're going to run the test. I said, okay, fine. She ran the test, and the next time she seen me, she wouldn't even mention it. She didn't say, oh, by the way, you don't have. She didn't want me to be right. That's how I felt. I went straight home, called Medicare up and say, I don't want her. I need another doctor. Can you recommend someone? I haven't lived here that long to be able to get someone. And so I've been with this doctor now for about, I've been here 15 years. I've been with him maybe 13 years. And, he's pretty cool. But then sometime I wanted him to give me a handicap sticker because of my lower back and stuff. He said, no, just walk. I'm like, what? I'm 70 years old. If I say I need it and I'm in pain, what's your problem? He wouldn't give it to me. So I got kind of really perturbed with him. And even now, right now, it's things that I wanted him to do. And he was like, no, we don't need to do that. And I'm like, this is my body. I know my body. I can figure out what I need. And I did massage therapy for 13 years, was trained by 5 doctors. They were brothers in Los Angeles, and they taught in Santa Monica. They taught me a lot about your body.
This is interesting. It's definitely a Vegas thing. So this is what I could say. Living in Las Vegas, I've lived here now for about 13 years, since my senior year of high school. And I know we are not the only people that have experienced some interesting care in Las Vegas, in Nevada.
Yeah.
And what I've come to find or assume is that Vegas has no real interest in keeping their people healthy. I know also that the education system is not very good, so they have no interest or no real motivation or no reason to educate their people either. And so it's just interesting dealing with or navigating that living here, right? Because I still have to get ongoing checkups or blood work and things like that. And one of the hardest things that has happened is to just simply find a good primary care doctor. That's
it.
Because I have oncologists that I've worked with, and specifically, shout out to Dr. Leonard, my transplant doctor, my most recent transplant doctor. She's in Oregon. And so laws change, and she can't take out of state virtual appointments anymore. So I can't meet virtually. I have to meet in person with her if I ever want to do a doctor's appointment for whatever reason. I don't understand. I guess maybe that's a Trump thing, since because that's a recent change. I've been working with my oncologist, Dr. Leonard, for 4 going on 5 years or something like that. And then all of a sudden we can't do online appointments anymore.
I don't put nothing past him. Okay.
So I don't know actually what really goes into that, but it's just a law. It's a law for her, right? And so it's also I'm not getting a transplant anymore, so she's really not actually my doctor. I just really appreciate her because she's knowledgeable, and she helps with whatever I need taken care of. Yeah. And so I do have an oncologist here. Shout out to Dr. Mehdi. He's a real cool dude. And, he got me into remission for my next transplant.
And he's here.
He's here, and he's taking care of me.
Oh, that's good.
Right? But again, even my oncologist, I don't need to see them anymore. No. Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't need it. So I need just a primary care doctor to do basic lab work and, make me feel appreciated, like I'm not just a number, and just take care of me. Just don't rush me and just listen to what I have going on. And that's very hard to try and find and
Yeah,
navigate.
because the doctor that I have, my primary, I have said, I've been with him 13 years, I like him. But when I ask for something specific for a reason, I don't see him telling me just walk. I can't hardly walk around. I mean, I used to walk all the time. I had an accident, I fell, and I'm telling you, sometimes I'm just in pain. I can't deal with it. So my chiropractor said, I can get that for you. He wrote it up. I went to DMV and got 2 placards.
See, and that's crazy. And the other thing is crazy is like everything is outsourced. Like I gotta go here to get my blood work. I gotta go here to see this doctor, here to see this doctor. I gotta go here to see an x-ray. So I gotta pay for this appointment, this appointment, this appointment.
It's crazy.
That's weird too, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm a little biased or like have a different experience because I was with Kaiser. Because you just go to Kaiser and
they gonna take care of it.
Everything is right there, right? Or a lot of my experience is at OHSU. It's Oregon Health Science University. That's the hospital where I got my transplants done. And everything is right there, right? So, and that's where my Dr. Leonard works. And so everything is right there. I go get my labs done downstairs, go upstairs, meet my doctor.
That's
they
the
like
wonderful
pass,
thing.
they talk to each other. Right out here, I gotta relay the message. I have a referral sitting for the x-ray and they won't reach out to me to service my referral. If I don't reach out or tell them I have a referral there, they won't schedule my appointment. I have to, it's like I'm doing their job.
I love Kaiser when I was there because they do take care of everything right there. But again, I had a black female primary physician. Shout out to Dr. Grundy. She was
shout out Dr. Grundy.
She was wonderful. She was the one that said I had cancer. But everything and anything I've ever done with her, it was spot on. She took care of it. And then we tried to find a black female here in Las Vegas.
None.
But you know what? And you can't really blame Las Vegas for that. They have a problem even getting teachers. They have a problem because the pay scale is not what it could be. And I think all of that kind of falls into why they can't attract black female doctors. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're
And
saying.
that's what I wanted. And we said the same thing, right?
Yes.
We were saying we wanted a black female. Well, Dr. Grundy's in LA, and if I could have her, I'd be happy because she took care of my cancer, everything. She said, afterwards, she said, your potassium is low. We're going to take care of that. And I mean, she just was on it. And I think us having people of color care about us a little bit more than everybody else. Sorry to say it, but that's the United States of America with everything.
With everything.
With everything. And I was like, why do we have to be the low man on the totem pole for everything? That's how you know it's systematic. That's what it is. And if we tell the truth, shame the devil, then we know for sure that's what it is. So me and her talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
About having a physician.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I don't think I've ever had a black doctor in my life. I'm
Really?
from Portland, Oregon.
Oh yeah, well,
Right?
I understand.
So and I live in a west suburb of Portland called Beaverton. I might have had one black doctor before, like in my entire life, and so I've also lived here for 13 years though as well. And
Kaiser had a lot of black doctors.
okay,
And see, that's what I'm saying. Just trying to attract them to leave, they're not going to leave. The system that they have is already set up for them. They don't have to worry about their clientele. They're going to get it. I told Dr. Grundy, I said, they said you have too much of work overload that they were giving some of your patients to other people. And I'm one of them that they gave away. And she said, don't worry about it. She said, hold on. She said, you're my patient.
That's awesome.
That's caring.
That's caring. That's all I want. That's what that is healthcare, right?
That's right.
Like, I should be
And she
getting
did
taken
it
care
like
of.
she did it like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome. And right, so she, in my mind, right, she's a doctor for the right reasons. Like she
Yes.
legit cares and wants to bring value and wants to help people.
That's right.
Right? She's not just trying to do the surgery because I need it and it's possible. And if I do this surgery, I'm about to get $1,000
That's
or
right.
whatever. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not trying to rush people or make people feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And I'm just trying to take care of people and bring value to society. Right?
Yes,
That's what I
And
would
they
assume.
have what they call ethics that doctors have to swear by. But they don't all hold up to what they say, you know.
People are liars.
Yeah.
I hate liars.
Yeah.
I'm really transparent. I was raised to just like air everything out, right? And
Tell the truth
and
and
just
shame
tell
the
the
devil.
truth, right? Like the truth will save you, right? Whatever that looks like. But I was always taught to tell the truth to people, even if it's hard, and to just I'm like an over communicator.
Yes.
Right, so I just air everything out.
Me
I
too.
might communicate too much, but
I
I just
probably
want it all to be on the table. And if you're one of my in a relationship with me in any kind of way,
Yes.
that's how I would expect you to work with me. Right? It's just I communicate
honest.
everything. Just be honest with me, right? And because I'm very black and white, and if it's not laid out,
I get it.
why is it not laid out? What are we not talking about, right? And so I don't like dealing with people very closely that do not feel comfortable with me, asking maybe hard questions or, having hard conversations or whatever that looks like. I think that's very crucial for healthy relationships.
That's right.
And so I like to live in truth, and I appreciate when people tell me the truth.
Yes.
Is very important.
The truth will set you free. That's what the Bible says.
And it's very simple. It's something that's very simple that I don't think it's like the very bar minimum that you could give me is just tell me the truth, right?
tell me the truth.
It's just tell me the truth, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
So I know that you guys both have grown kids, right? I imagine, possibly that could be a lot of the reason why you guys, do the things you do, right? You even said if you worried about anything, it would be about your kids or your grandkids.
That's it.
Right? So kind of explain to me like why you guys do the things you do. Like what makes you tick? What motivates you? Why do you care about the things that you care about?
Do you need to think about it? I know.
Go ahead.
Trying to let her be first, Family. And that's my biggest thing. I've been married twice, and my husband died 21 years ago when we all had all this stuff going on.
A lot of stress.
A lot of stress. And so, I look at my kids, all born and raised in L.A., and they don't have records. They don't get in trouble. They live a pretty decent life, My youngest son finally moved here with me after I had left LA about 3 years, and then the market fell down and all kind of stuff was going on, so his job closed. And I said, come on. And he said, I'm going back to LA, though. He's not going back to LA. I think he's so set in Vegas now that he can, and he's not a partier going out doing all kind of craziness. So I think I've been blessed to have children that are decent. Now, my oldest son is the only one with children. My other two kids do not have kids. The 47-year-old and the 37-year-old, they don't have kids. And so my grandchildren from my son, oldest son, that's some work, because these new kids, people are not the same. I don't care what anybody say, and everybody you talk to, I don't care if they black, white, Asian, whatever, they all talk about a generation of kids. it's a whole different ballgame. So I kind of like, I tell her, I treat them with a long handled spoon, but it's tough love. You know, when they come back to me after they done said something crazy, they come back to me, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So the element of respect for me is that. If you can't respect me, I'm going to make you. Because if you come back to me, I'm not doing it. And I had to do that to my granddaughter. She was upset. She said, I'm never calling you again. Okay. Like I said, I'm not worrying about it. So I think family, that unity that I grew up with my parents, my mother and father was married almost 60 years. My grandparents on both sides, they were married forever. My great-grandparents, I knew all but one. And the village raised the child.
Yes.
And they didn't play that stuff like Miss Jones next door could say, I told them to don't come in my yard, and they broke a limb off that peach tree getting those peaches. She took a switch to us and tore our little butts up and went and told my grandmother. Then my grandmother whooped us. Eddie Murphy and them talking about how many times you get whooped for one. Oh, yeah, that's true. In the South, everybody got you. My grandmother got me. My mama got me. My daddy got me. I mean, how many times you gonna get beat up for it? And the difference is they didn't whip you all up and, you know, what they call abuse. No, I didn't do that either with my kids, but they know that I would discipline them. So I think family is the thing.
Yes, I agree. Well, how about you, Miss King?
My motivation, I'm enjoying retirement right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing caring. I'm one of the few, I'm in my 60s who have adult children, but no grandchildren. So I would like to see some grandchildren before I get out of here. But try and live as much of a stress-free life as possible. Here recently I went to nail school.
I see your nails, yeah.
She does.
Okay.
But she did those before she went to school. Now, ain't that the truth?
Yeah, that's true, but it's definitely enhanced since I finished school. But
She did mine yesterday.
I just tried to, like I said, just do caring. I had almost 40 years of working, and like I said, we all have to go sometime. So, like I said, I'm one that believes we're not going to go too early and you're not going to go too late. So I'm just trying to enjoy this journey of life.
Right.
Yes.
Like, it's perfect timing. That's like one of my favorite sayings. Is when stuff happens and then it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then you see it through and it's like, oh, you look back like, bro, that was perfect timing. It happened right on time. Right?
Whatever's meant to be.
It's supposed to be like not too early, not too late. It's right on time. Yeah, I like that. And right, all we have is right now. Right? Like, I can't do nothing about what was done. Right, I could learn from it and reflect, but I'm still here right now, right? So I can't really feel too bad about it. And then I don't know the future, right? So I can't worry about it or do anything about it. I can do something about it right now, right? And I should spend this time feeling good and enjoying right now and being able. And I feel like you guys have a good perspective since you guys have, life experience to be able to understand and maybe have gone through some ups and downs to be able to understand like what's important, right? What's important. And at the end of the day, it's to feel good and enjoy, and be able to do the most with what you have right now, whatever that looks like, right?
And I have 7 great-grandbabies.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Great-grandbabies. Violet Rose's birthday is today.
Your family is strong, because you said you knew all your great-grandparents.
I knew my great-grandparents, all but one.
Yes.
And they kind of everybody took care of us. I could play out in the street till the sun goes down, like people say all the time. But when my mother or my grandmother would say, lights off, you better be in this, we did what we were told.
We did what we were told to do.
And these kids now, they don't, you don't know anything. And my oldest son say he told his 3 my grandchildren. He said, look, my mother been on the earth 70-some years, and you think you smarter than her?
Tell him.
He said, I'm 50-something, and I know I don't even know closely what she knows.
Tell him. I'm
You
saying.
know, so, I mean, what do you tell these kids? They just don't want to hear it because the internet tells them everything, right or
Yeah.
wrong.
And it's very hard. It's so counterintuitive. We have the internet. We have more resources than ever and all this technology to have all this information at the tip of
That's
our
right.
fingers.
That's right.
And so now it's harder than ever to really understand and discern fact from opinion, right?
It's true.
And like what is actually real and what is fake. We have AI now too.
Yes.
So you can create anything and post it on the internet.
Anything.
And then if you're a kid, you're still trying to learn things in life, so you can watch anything. And kids know how to work YouTube, and they can't even talk.
Let's start with my little 2-year-old grandson and 4-year-old and Valley Rose. They handle my TV better than me. Okay?
They-
and I'm like, what do you do?
It's insane. And so, and I don't know if it's always been a disconnect like this in like generation to generation, right? Because I was a kid. But like you said, the level of respect, I sat at the table. I had to sit with my grandparents and we had to have a conversation. Like they was going to force you to speak up,
That's
right?
right.
And you wasn't going to say, oh, I don't know or nothing. No, at least my grandparents were saying, no, explain more.
That's
Talk,
right.
Explain or what's on your mind or have a conversation. And you had a conversation. Like I said, I spent a lot of time with my dad and my uncles. We were raised by a village.
Okay.
Right? We had the barbecue every weekend.
Yeah.
So you around all of these people regardless of what you like or not. I didn't have a cell phone till I was in like 6th grade. And still, I'm sure that was before you guys, right?
Violet has her own phone. Okay.
So you got the home phone. So you at the home. You got it. If I'm talking to anybody on the phone, other than that, I'm running around the neighborhood going to knock on my friends' doors or whatever. We gotta meet at this time. And if you're not there, I'm like, why ain't you there? Right? Nowadays, we got phones. I can call somebody across the entire world in an instant, and I can't get people to answer their phone.
That's right.
Right? So the lack of, I always say it's like a lack of professionalism, but it's like accountability or like, I don't know. I don't really know. It's just like you used to show up for people. Yeah. And it's just a different time and a different world.
And Karen and I talk about this, is like we used to know everybody's phone number in our head.
You used to memorize it.
You knew it.
Now I only know.
I don't know. My own sons, I don't know their phone numbers.
No.
The one
I
that
don't know
live
my
with
sisters.
me, yeah, but you don't. You depend on that machine to get it for you. And if you leave it somewhere or you forgot it or it's not working today, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
And that's not good.
The only phone numbers I know is my grandparents' home phone, not even my grandma's cell phone.
That's right.
And it don't even work no more. But my mom and my dad's cell phone.
Yeah.
I don't even know my little sister's cell phone. It's bad.
We're all like that.
I know mine, and that's it. I know my parents. Those are the two people. If I'm stuck, that's who I'm calling.
My girlfriend Bobby, her home phone has been the same for 52 years.
Right.
I know that phone number.
Yeah, I've always had the same. I wanted to keep the same phone because if you ever have my phone number, you got it, right? So you should always be able to call me.
I tried to keep my number from LA when I moved here, and AT&T would not let me keep that number.
That's crazy.
They gave me hell. I did everything, and it worked for a day or so. They let me have it. Came back and told me no, I couldn't have that number.
All right, well, we're on time. That's all we have today on this episode. I have one last question for you, ladies.
Okay.
What is the best advice that anybody has ever given you in your life?
See, my mom was good, but she told us so much.
You can choose maybe a couple. I do that all the time. I'm always like, man, I got a couple. It's hard to pick one. So yeah.
Yeah.
My grandmother always used to tell me to use your head for more than a hat rack. Use your head.
Yeah.
Use your head. I remember when I was little too. I can't think of who that was. I think it was my stepfather who had told me, run away from trouble. Don't run towards trouble. And I believe that had to do with the incident in high school where there was a fight or something. Yeah. And as an adult, that is very important. Run away from trouble. Don't run towards trouble.
Right.
And my mom would say, stray bullets don't have a name.
That's right.
Mm.
That's true.
Think about it.
Mm.
So you don't need to be going towards nobody. There's something going on. And it's always something going on. And my oldest grandson, 2 years, well, it ain't been to a year and a half ago, we had been talking to him. He's a good kid. We were talking to him. And his friend, 14-year-old, shot him in the neck, and he died.
Wow.
So that was a part of a tragedy that we really had to deal with. And I think I did well because I couldn't worry about it. He's gone. And, you know, we all cried about it and was upset about it. But this kid was 14 years old. What was he doing with a gun? Where are your parents? That's how I look at it. How do you not know your kid has a gun?
No, who taught you this? Who raised you? Yes.
So that was one of the heartache things that I've had here. So stray bullets don't have no name, you know, and he's out with his friends, and that's what happened, you know. I don't know. My Aunt Sam used to tell me a lot of crazy stuff, and some of it I couldn't even repeat. And I think we just know that all those little sayings that they've had for years, it's true.
It's true. It's real. All the stuff my teachers used to tell me when I was in elementary school, the little believe and you can't achieve.
Yes.
All the little saying. As you get older, you realize it was not no little saying. It really holds weight, and it's really true.
Yeah, my son always tries to repeat one of them that I say all the time. I'm trying to think what it was. And an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Yeah. And he was like, what does that mean? Well, if you can prevent it, then you won't have to fix it. So that's something young people have to keep in their head, that, you know, we have to be able to analyze situations, even when you're young. Do y'all want to go towards it or run from it? Right? Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Don't run towards trouble, run away from it. And I think that's really good.
And then my mother would say, nothing runs a duck but its beak. And you think about it, what? Because she said the duck could be in the pond and the fox is there looking for him and he's sitting there hidden, and all of a sudden he's going to say, quack, quack, quack. Well, guess what? You just told the fox where you were. Where you at? So all these little things I think about her saying to us, and I was like, I repeat them to my kids and my grandkids, and they look at me like, really? But it's true.
It's true. And, okay, so that's like a lost art. Like, when I was being raised, I was taught to listen.
Yes.
I had to listen, but I had to be attentive. Like, if I wasn't looking whoever I was listening to in the eyes and attentive, you can tell people aren't listening, right? And so that's like a lost cause. Little kids don't listen. They don't have respect. I don't know who teaches them or what the understanding of respect is. I got
a thing about that, a pet peeve.
I don't understand, because I would have been killed if I treated my parents or my uncles or talked to my grandparents in any kind of way like that. I would not be here. Absolutely
Your teeth
not.
would be down the street.
Yeah.
we laugh about that all the time. Say, you dare talk back to your grandparents, your parents.
Just say yes. It's not even hard. I totally understand. I was a teenager too.
Yes.
I was a little kid too. I totally get it. But just say yes and do what I told you to do. You don't know. Like you don't know anything. You're a little kid. You're supposed to do what the adults tell you to do.
That's right.
So
I would tell my sons when they were little and coming up, teenagers and stuff, I said, look, always think of it this way. Here's your buddies, your 3-4 buddies, and y'all all thinking the same way. Do you think that they know more than you? Or do you think that they're smart enough to navigate all what's going on in life? Or do you think y'all all about the same, you don't know nothing? He said, we don't know nothing. Well, then, why do you follow your friends? They don't know anything. Your parents knows. They can tell you the ins and outs of things that happens, you know. But these kids don't want to listen to you. Their friends know everything.
they don't know who to listen to.
There you go.
That's a problem.
There you
You're
go.
supposed to listen to your elders, and that's not what they do.
With some experience.
Yeah, so I'm gonna end it on this because we're running out of time.
Yes.
I live with my old basketball coach. His name is Virgil Williams Goss. I've known him since I was in like 3rd grade. And similar to like what you said, don't run towards trouble, run away from it, right? Some of the best advice he's ever given me, he's like a mentor to me all my life. And he told me, he didn't say it exactly in this way, but basically he said, when you're making decisions, like why would I give it any kind of chance, or why would I put myself in any kind of like position to let something that like shouldn't happen, right? Like why would I even be somewhere where there's a possibility of some dirt happening or some trouble happening, right? Like why would I even give it a chance, right? And it always made me really think about the decisions and how to make like a sound decision in my life. And especially like after having cancer, I really focus on like trying to make the best decisions in my life, like moving forward, and like the importance of like I take pretty much everything like pretty seriously and try to make the best decisions that I can with what I have, and that always resonated with me. He really put it in a different way. I had a girlfriend at the time, and we were like arguing, and he was like, and so he's been married for, I don't know, they had to be married for at least 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And so he was giving me advice with my relationship. He was like, he was telling me, why would I put myself in any position to make my wife feel any kind of way, or even be able to assume that she could feel any kind of way, right? So that's how he broke it down, and it really stuck with me, just like as far as making decisions in my life, not just in any kind of relationship, right?
So your girlfriend lucky, your fiance is lucky, huh?
My fiance is lucky. Yes, we're buying a house together right now. It's so exciting.
That's wonderful.
We have a cool relationship.
That's
man.
great.
It's super cool.
My husband was fantastic. He's been dead 21 years. And everybody that knows me and knew him say, girl, where did you find him from?
Where did you?
He was wonderful. So
that's awesome.
People try to talk to me, and I'll be like,
you
get to a certain age, you learn, I ain't doing that. Right. So, no.
All right, well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
For joining me on this episode of Beast vs. Zombie. I really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And all of your wisdom here and sharing your story. Everybody go out ahead and check out the website, BeastvsZombie.com. That's where you can get merchandise like this. 10% of everything goes to cancer awareness and cancer research. Check out the socials, Beast vs. Zombie on Spotify and YouTube, and you'll be able to see full videos like this. Again, thank you so much, Daisy and Karen. I really appreciate your guys' time. Everybody have a good rest of your day. Be a beast.